Latest on Bill Cosby. Allegations of sexual assault have his comedy comeback collapsing this morning as a shocking newly released interview shows Cosby addressing those claims on camera, pressuring the reporter to scuttle it. ABC's Cecilia Vega has the story.
Overnight, an onslaught of new accusers coming out of the shadows. Women all accusing Bill Cosby of sexual abuse. And now, new video of the Hollywood icon speaking publicly surfacing, filmed 3 weeks after the allegations resurfaced. The Associated Press overnight releasing this November 6th interview with the 77-year-old star.
No, we don't answer that.
Okay. I just wanted to ask if you wanted to respond at all about whether any of that was true.
There's no response.
Okay. Can I ask you, if with the persona that people know about Bill Cosby, should they believe anything differently about what?
There is no comment about that.
Okay.
And I'll tell you why.
Okay.
I think you were told. I don't want to compromise your integrity, but I don't talk about it.
Listen as Cosby refuses to answer questions about the decade-old allegations, chastising the reporter for asking about them.
Now, can I get something from you?
What's that?
That none of that will be shown?
I can't promise that.
And I would appreciate it if it was scuttled.
I hear you.
Well, I think if you want to consider yourself to be serious, that it will not appear anywhere.
Okay. I appreciate what you've asked. Right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And we thought, by the way, because it was AP, that it wouldn't be necessary to go over that question with you.
This as a famous face joins that growing list of accusers. Former supermodel Janice Dickinson saying Cosby sexually assaulted her in 1982. Though a lawyer for Cosby says her story conflicts with prior statements and is an outrageous lie. In 2005, another woman sued by Cosby claiming he drugged and assaulted her. She said 13 others with similar stories offered to testify. The case settled out of court for an undisclosed amount with no admission of wrongdoing. Criminal charges were never brought against him. In a statement that Cosby's lawyers say does not refer to that settled case, they called one woman's claims old and discredited. Cosby's team says he will perform as planned Friday in Florida, but this morning his comedic empire taking a hit.
I knew something was wrong.
TV Land announcing it will no longer air the Cosby Show reruns, NBC canceling a proposed Cosby sitcom, Netflix postponing a stand-up performance.
I think they felt like it wouldn't be worth the risk.
For Good Morning America, Cecilia Vega, ABC News, Los Angeles.
Thanks to Cecilia for that. ABC's Dan Abrams is here. Boy, this cascade of charges coming in right now. But is Cosby in any legal jeopardy?
Probably not. I think that both the criminal and civil statutes of limitations have probably expired. Remember, we're talking about two different paths that are the possibility. One could be civil action, one could be criminal action. There's a theoretical argument on criminal. If there's a crime where you face up to life in prison, there's no statute of limitations. But I think that's theoretical at this point. I think that the real issue for him is going to be his career and his legacy.
And we've seen the statements coming out from him and his lawyers, and there's been a mixed bag of what he said.
Well, this is the problem, I think, for him, is that when it comes to Janice Dickinson, it's an unambiguous denial. It did not happen. 2005 case, it did not happen. And yet, with some of these other cases, he's just issuing a blanket denial which says that they're old and discredited. I think that's a problem for him. I think that if his position is none of this happened, these are all lies, he's got to come out and call them lies. I mean, a lot of people...
If he believes there are lies, does he have any legal recourse?
That's what I was going to say, is that if this isn't true, there's nothing more defamatory out there that someone could say about someone. Then he ought to be suing. If all of these people are literally making these things up about him, there's nothing more defamatory than that. And when you're talking about someone whose career and legacy are now in jeopardy, if these are lies, A, he's got to get out there and call them that unambiguously. Every single case, lie, lie, lie. And B, you know, you'd probably want to be thinking very seriously about a lawsuit.
So you don't think the strategy which he's tried up to now of basically trying not to say anything or refuse to answer questions?
Because of the numbers. Because of the numbers. Because new people keep coming forward. I mean, that's the problem he's got, is that if it's just one person, as it was the case in the civil case that he settled, or maybe even two, you can say we're not going to discuss it. But the problem now is he seems to be selectively responding to cases. And that's what he can't do. He can't come out with Janice Dickinson and be so specific that that didn't happen, and yet when it comes to some of these other cases say, well, it's old and discredited. I think that's the big problem for him.
Okay, Dan Abrams, thanks very much.